Welcome back, you lovely people, to another video. This time we are racing the Porsche Cup car here at Daytona, and this is only my second ever race in the Porsche Cup car, so let's see if I can survive to the end of this race where it actually gets rather close at the finish. So as we're about to go green here, different perspective. I've got the race from my perspective in VR here, so you get a different perspective for this race. Lights go green, pole position car gets going. I get a better run than the second position car. So as we're coming into turn number 1, we're going to brake a little early, but we keep a nice tight line. I don't want to slide out and take what was the second place car out. We do get a better run than he does, so we can take the racing line and we can get a position up into second. That third place car, I was watching him in my mirror, seeing if he was going to make a dive bomb here, but then I noticed that the first place car has run slightly wide. So I'm noting that for future, wondering if he does it again in the next couple of laps, then it might be a place for an overtake, as if he's going to consistently run wide there, then that might be a place for an opening might occur. Similar kind of thing happens here. It could just be cold tires, but it's something I'm noting for later. I'm going to keep an eye on it and see if he makes that mistake again. Coming onto the oval, I very much struggle with this left-hander, especially on cold tires, and I've spun a few times in practice. As you see, I have to make a slight correction there. And just one of those things where in this race in particular, I felt very nervous, and I had worked a lot on kind of settling my nerves and the mental game when I was racing the Ferrari series. And that was something that I worked on. I felt very comfortable with the car, felt very comfortable in my ability to race the car, but for whatever reason the Porsche Cup was very intimidating. Just in practice, it's very easy to lose the back end, it's very easy to lock up and you run wide and make a mistake, and I was very nervous about making a mistake that would cost me positions. Not how you want to race. You want to feel free and you want to be confident. Compound that kind of feeling with kind of having FPS drops randomly. For whatever reason at Daytona was killing my FPS on the infield, and that was affecting my ability to feel what the car does and how it reacts, and I was definitely slower in the race than I was in practice. You're going to see here, I was thinking about a move on first place, but I thought better of it. I'm thinking at this stage in the race, let's try and pull away from the cars behind. There's a nice 2-second gap between myself and the car in third, as we again notice that first place car makes a mistake into that right-hander, turn number 2. So again, noting that for a possible place to overtake. Coming up to this second kind of U-turn or kind of hairpin, he goes wide and leaves the door open. I'm better on the brakes, and I'm thinking if he ran wide the last time on turn 1, he's going to run wide again. He does. He gets a little bit of a fishtail coming out of that kind of right-hander. I gain a position because I am much smoother on the throttle. And right now I'm thinking, okay, I have an opportunity to win this race. Let's keep it smooth. Let's try and build a gap and not get into any kind of unnecessary fights with the car behind. I'm not sure what his intentions are at this stage in the race. He might want to do the same thing I was thinking, which is let's build a gap. Or he might be thinking, I want to get that position back as quickly as possible. I'm on my mirrors right now, looking at my mirrors, coming up to the bus stop. I don't get the greatest run through here. He gets an even worse run. I think I turned in a little too early on that kind of the right-hander of that first part, and he turns in even earlier, and to avoid an off-track, he kind of whips the car back around. It does slow him down, it slows me down, but I keep first place, and he's far enough behind where he's not going to necessarily fly past me with the slipstream, but he's going to start catching me with the slipstream. Slipstream is super powerful at Daytona, so it comes down to a little bit of strategy. That do you want to be in first coming out of the bus stop, or would you rather be in second? I think I would, in a normal situation, rather be in second, as we just complete a 148.6. Definitely a really slow lap time. I qualified in this race P3, but my lap time in qualifying was 147.4. You're seeing here a number of corrections that I have to make with this car. I was just, whatever reason, be it frame rate, lacking confidence, or nerves, or whatever you like to call it, I was just driving a little poorly in the race, and I had to correct a number of times into some of these slower corners. I was very nervous on the upcoming left-hander coming onto the oval, because that was one of those corners that I consistently would spin, and just generally speaking, did not feel confident. So just racing right now on nerves and kind of just in my mirrors a lot, and it's not helpful. You're going to see me look around, checking my relative, checking my mirrors, a few things like that. Just again, just not conducive to fast lap times. And as I said, I qualified P3 with a 147.4, and my fastest lap time in practice was like a 146.4. So about a second a lap slower in qualifying, which really shouldn't be the case. And yeah, I was a little nervous about spinning out, so I wasn't getting on the throttle early enough. I wasn't braking as aggressive or coming off and the brake on trail braking as aggressive as I should have been. But right now I'm trying to settle the nerves in this race and try and get into a rhythm. I can see the car behind. I have a bit of a gap, so yeah, just settle down, breathe easy. Coming into this first corner now, trying to break my usual braking spot. Still did 148 flat, which is very slow. I noticed that, and then I have to correct again coming through that left-hander. So slow on the exit now, and I'm watching that kind of red box as you see on the dashboard. Just the numbers in there increase. Coming through this right-hander, felt okay through here, but I'm noticing now in my mirrors that second place car is catching me again. He was pulling away from third position, so I knew I was, let's say, the gap between me and third was kind of maintaining, and he was kind of increasing his gap to third position and decreasing it to me. So at this stage in the race, he felt probably a bit, I think he was a bit faster than I was. Despite that kind of slow time through turn number 1, we are looking like we're going to improve on this lap. Right now I've got a green box and I'm looking like I've gained a few tenths here and there. So again, improving, feeling more confident as the car gets up to temperature and I get up to speed and just relax a little more into this race. And we're going to see if we can start relaxing more and more, be less intimidated by the fact that Porsche Cup car is more difficult to drive, and the fact I have very little experience, this being only my second race, so relaxing. Coming through the bus stop now, he is catching me again, and now I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be compromised into turn number 1. I'm not going to fight him, I'm not going to try and lose time, but I notice he comes up and he bumps me right here, so I'm thinking, okay, right here, right now, if he's bumping me, and he does it a second time, okay, he's thinking the same thing I was thinking earlier on in the race. He wants to just build a gap, and then we'll fight it out towards the end of the race. Do a 147.7, a little better, but still slow, still a very slow lap time. We go green through the first corner for the first time, I think, in this race, so definitely feeling good and feeling a bit more confident. I'm feeling more comfortable with the guy behind me, I'm feeling more comfortable with the car, and we're starting to decrease that lap time and trying to build that gap to third and fourth and fifth place behind. There's a group behind that is just, they weren't really fighting from when I watched the replay. They were just trying to push and try and catch back up to us. So yeah, definitely one of those things where I was trying to build a gap, and that was my mentality, is don't lose time, don't fight, get into stupid fights and squabble with the guy behind. So yeah, I'm feeling comfortable. He is right behind us, he is filling our mirrors full of his headlights, but I'm feeling comfortable with him behind me. That's not going to last, because towards the end of the race he's going to want to make a move. I'd make a couple of adjustments to the brake bias here. Just as I'm feeling more confident, I'm starting to bring the brake bias back a little by little, just so I can get a bit more rotation in those corners and try and see if I can get that lap time down even further, closer towards those practice times that I was doing. When I looked at the telemetry after the race, I noticed that I was just really messing up the bus stop. I, for whatever reason, was getting on the power a little too early, and then that meant that I ran a little wide coming out of the bus stop, which meant I had to get off the power, and then that just ruined everything. Car behind's flashing me here. I think he's just signaling to me, let's go, just keep pushing. He does give me a couple of bumps here, just to keep that kind of pace going and just to see if we can build that gap. So that was kind of the general gist of this race. As we're coming into turn number 1 now, I noticed we did a 147.3. Better, not quite as fast as I would like. I would like to break into the 146s at least, but right now we're not doing that. But yep, about 6 laps or 5 laps completed, and status quo right now. We're still maintaining first position. We're still got a car behind us, but we're building that gap ever so slightly, lap after lap. And it may come down to just the two of us, and we're going to see if it will come down to just the two of us. I go a little defensive on the line here. I tended to be a little bit more tighter in this corner than he was. It didn't really make a huge difference between the two of us. Which line was better? I noticed he was better coming out of this corner. He ran a little wider than I would on exit, so he's probably straightening the car up a bit quicker and getting on the power a bit earlier. So things that you note and things that you learn after the race and after you watch the replays and you check telemetry. So I highly recommend doing that. After you complete a race, go check your telemetry. If you have something running like RH61 or VRS or something like that, go check your replay and see what other people are doing, see what you were doing that you may need to change or alter. Trying to take a slightly different line through the bus stop here to see if we can gain time. I think we gained some time coming out. You can see the kind of time difference on the dashboard is reducing. It is red right now, but it is reducing. So yeah, a little bit of better through there, despite being a little slower overall on the lap, but a little better as we get bumped again. So yeah, coming up to finish lap number 6, feeling okay. There's a long race to go. There's still 10 laps or so to go, so got to concentrate, got to make sure I really hit those apexes, don't spin the car, don't make mistakes, as we've got a mirror full of the car behind. He was, I don't know if he was thinking about a move there, but it didn't really materialize, so I was happy enough with that. Coming through his right-hander now, just trying to build that gap, as I said, and that's what I was concentrating on at this stage in the race. We're going to come up through this infield section here, again trying to push more and more just to make sure that we can build that gap. So after this right-hander, we've got that infamous, really tricky left-hander, and what's going to happen on this left-hander is I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to try and turn the car in aggressive and get the car straight as quickly as I can to turn. I was far too aggressive, and you can see I get a very lazy spin. Unfortunately, that just absolutely ruins me, and I've lost 5 positions. I dropped from 1st to 6th in one mistake. You can see I'm checking to see if I can make a safe rejoin. I have the gap, so I safely rejoin. I've got about a slowdown, but I should really be able to kill that slowdown without really hurting myself. At this stage in the race, I'm kicking myself. I'm really frustrated by that. It happens. You gotta just kind of mentally block it and get over it and move on and try and concentrate on getting back to the cars in front. But compounding the fact I didn't feel comfortable in the car, possibly because of the FPS drop, possibly because I was nervous. Now I've just made a mistake. I was just feeling like absolute crap in this race. And we're about halfway through the race. We've got 50% left in this race, and I'm not feeling confident. I'm not feeling comfortable in the car. I'm looking in my mirrors even now, and I'm worried about the cars behind, and I'm just really nervous. And this is not really the way I want to race, and I think this is just really a lack of experience in the Porsche Cup car, as well as just feeling absolutely nervous. I had an opportunity to win, and I think looking at the number, like the number car and being number 1, which the numbers in the cars are kind of done on your iRating, and it basically means I was the highest iRating person in this lobby or kind of split, that I was just in a really stupid headspace. My head game was all over the place for this race. I was nervous. I was worried about being the number 1 car, and I should be, going off into the distance in this race, and I didn't qualify well, and just, it could all compound it. And as you can see, right now I've yet to break into the 146s, which is unusual for me. The race I did prior to this, which was an absolute disaster, but I still, even in that race, despite spinning multiple times in that race, I did a 146 kind of 8. So yeah, I should be breaking into the 146s, but I'm not right now. Cars behind are catching me. I'm just about keeping the distance between myself and the pack ahead, but I'm not gaining on them, and that's something I started to look at. And again, another thing that was messing with my head is I'm not gaining to the cars in front as much as I thought I should be. And all these little things started to compound. And all these little things meant that I wasn't as aggressive on the accelerator, wasn't working the brakes as well as I should, I wasn't turning the wheel to straighten up the car and get on the power as early as I should be. I wasn't as aggressive on the brakes coming into this corner. I was worried about locking up and making what was one mistake into multiple mistakes. And whilst right now I'm not making any big mistake for a second time, I'm making little mistakes, and I'm looking in my mirrors and everything's compounding. And I've mentioned this to people before. I've put a few comments on YouTube videos about don't race in your mirrors, concentrate in your own race and concentrate on what's ahead of you and hitting your braking points and your braking markers and your turning points and your acceleration points, and just making sure that you're not worried about what's behind you. You just get in that right headspace and make sure that you can be aggressive. What I should be doing at this stage in the race is looking at the cars in front and kind of almost get that kind of red mist, kind of smelling blood sort of thing. Be like, okay, we can catch these guys. I know I'm faster. Let's catch them. But I'm not doing that, and that's really compromising me. And that was kind of frustrating with this race. I had an opportunity to win it, and if I didn't win it and the guy slipstreams by me on the line, then I come second or third, and I would have been happy with that. Right now we're in 6th. I'd still be happy with a 6th place for my second ever P Cup race, but I wasn't thinking like that at the time, and that was compromising everything I was doing. And again, as I said, you really shouldn't be racing like this. I should have practiced what I preach, which is forget about it, move on. You made a mistake, just go. And yeah, it wasn't a fun few laps here, but as we start to get more comfortable, as the laps tick by and I start not concentrating my mirrors as lap after lap goes by, and seeing doing 147.6, okay, getting back into the rhythm. Car's not too comfortable, but I'm feeling okay. The tire temperatures and pressures aren't crazy. I haven't burned them up. I can see a couple of cars up ahead are fighting, so let's see if we can start catching up to them. Let's see if we can make something of this race. And as the race goes on, it starts coming back to us a little by little, and we're going to see if we can gain a couple of places. And I'm now starting to feel a little bit more confident. I can see the cars up ahead. They're getting a little bit bigger. They're getting a little bit closer. And I can start getting into that kind of, oh, I'm starting to smell blood again. You can see here I'm closer. The cars are only going through that left-hander as I'm on that straight, whereas prior to a couple of laps prior, they were going through that left-hander as I was still in that kind of right-hander, the corner before. So, yeah, confidence is a big thing in racing, and it's a big thing in iRacing specifically. And specifically in very difficult cars, like let's say cars without ABS, cars without traction control. Just confidence is key, and I think the mental game is something that people quite often forget, and you see it especially in rookies where people will do a blistering fast lap time and they'll get on pole and then they'll worry that, oh, I'm out of position here. When in reality you're not. You have qualified on pole. You did the lap time. You were that fast. Even if it's your fastest lap time ever, you did the lap time. So again, confidence is key, and I severely lacked confidence in this race. And I was nervous, but going forward, I've now learned from my mistakes, and I'm hoping that I can capitalize on that going forward, and I can start getting good results and start winning in Porsche Cup races and gaining kind of a couple of podiums and things like that. Right now, I'm in 6th position. If I can make a top 5, I should be happy. I say in the Ferrari series, in the top splits, if I hit a top 5, I'll be happy. But for whatever reason, I just was putting myself under way more pressure for this race than I should have been. And I think it all kind of stemmed from the fact I saw that I was car number 1, and I was thinking maybe this is 3rd split, not 2nd split, or something weird was going on. But yeah, I put myself under too much pressure. Coming into this left-hander now, I'm going to make sure that I kind of get on the power as early as I can. I can now see the cars ahead on the oval section, and I'm getting closer and closer and closer. It might not be coming down as quickly as I like, and there's still about 4.5 laps to go, so I'm going to have to rely on the cars in front to fight amongst themselves a little bit, which I'm looking at the relative. They're quite close to there's like 2 packs of 2, so there's definitely areas where they could fight and amongst themselves and start compromising their lap time, and I can probably, with clean air in front of me, start catching up to them. I can see there's a breakaway group there in kind of in the rear of 2 cars. If they're nose to tail, if they start fighting, anything can happen. So now I'm starting to think, okay, there's an opportunity to get a top 5 here, possibly a podium if there's a bit of a slipstream battle towards the end, and if the couple of cars in front start fighting amongst themselves, then yeah, maybe I can potentially salvage this race and still come out with something despite a spin. Okay, all to play for. 4 laps to go. Gotta put the hammer down. Was doing 147.6, not concentrating on lap time, concentrating on everything I can do to make this car rotate and get out of the corner as quickly as possible. Tough ask, but I've got to do it. I've got to push this car up to that pack in front. I'm not looking in my mirrors at this stage in the race. I'm not worried about the car behind. I'm not going to worry about him until he gets super close, and I'm concentrating as hard as I can. 4 laps to go. You can see the cars up in front. They're fighting amongst themselves a little bit. I'm gaining on them. The gap is closing. I'm not sure what it is at this stage in the race, but it's down below that kind of 4-second mark that it was a few laps ago. So yeah, we're gaining on them little by little, and we're trying to be in the mix towards the end. Coming up to the bus stop again, down this back straight stretch section of the oval, coming up to the bus stop. We're going to try and see if we can nail it this time. Come on, let's do it. A little better on the power, run a little wide, but it's okay. Little better. Not perfect, but a little better. And that's all I can ask for at this stage in the race. And that's all I can ask for towards the end of the race, is just be a little better than what I was the lap before. Just be a little better, and anything can happen. The race is not over. Race is never over until you cross the line. So yeah, we have only 2 incident points at this stage in the race from that spin. We haven't got any off tracks. All the little bump drafting and things like that has netted 0 incident points. So yeah, let's try and put the hammer down now and catch up to these guys. And I'm happy with only 2 incident points, and see if we can gain some safety rating. Lost a big chunk a while back, and I'm trying to gain it back over the last few races, which I have been slowly. So funnily enough, what I mentioned was somebody could make a mistake and a couple of laps ago, and they do. That was actually the leader. That was the guy that was behind us when we spun. He was cruising in the lead at this stage in the race. 3 laps to go, cruising. I don't know if he just lost concentration or trying to push a little too hard, but he went off track and essentially did what we did. He falls back, we gain that position. We're now up to 5th place. We've got a car behind us, yes, and the leader that was before he spun is now behind us. So okay, there's still potential there that they can get past us, but there's potential we can catch the cars in front, and there's still that group of 2 cars that could mix it amongst themselves coming into like the bus stop or coming into turn 1 and collide. They have started catching the 2 cars in front of them, so now it's becoming not just 2 groups of 2, but now 1 big group of 4, so there's even more potential for them to collide. So this race is not over. Coming up towards the end of lap number 13. 2 laps to coming up. There's 2 laps to go. I'm watching my mirrors, being cautious about getting dive bombed or anything from these cars behind. I know they have slipstream here, and I know that white car is going to be kicking himself for spinning, and I know despite him spinning, he's going to be going for moves. Case in point just now, he goes up the inside. I wasn't happy with this move in the middle of the race. I looked at the replay later, it wasn't as bad as it looked in VR, but at the time I just felt a little like that was just agreed. I had to turn out of the corner to make sure I didn't collide with him, but he still hit me. It was a 0x, but he still kind of like door banged, which I was a little bit annoyed about that, but you know, it is what it is. Head down. We're back down to 6th position right now, but head down. He has made a mistake in the past. We are also in that position where we can slipstream him, possibly across the line, so it's not over yet. There's still time here, and I'm not exactly in the most vulnerable position here. I have slipstream. Yes, I have a car behind, but I'm not really concentrating on him. I'm concentrating on the car in front. I had that car behind for a few laps, so I'm not worried about him too much. I'm worried about the car in front. I don't want to let him pull away right now. I want to keep on his ass and keep right there just so I can have that opportunity coming out of the bus stop in one lap's time where I can potentially get past him. He's blinking right now. That is distracting me a little bit. But I think that was the only time he really blinked, so I wasn't too worried about that. Well, I stand corrected one more time. But yeah, it wasn't really too bad towards the end of the race. But yeah, we're slipstreaming him now, coming up towards the start-finish straight. Or it's not even a straight, but yes, the start-finish line. Coming up to turn 1. I'm gaining on the slipstream, and I'm going to go out. I'm going to go wide. I want to be wide onto turn 1. I'm keeping him tight as I can. I now hang it up towards the right side on the wall. He's better on the brakes. We touch a little bit there just as we're coming through. I'm trying to go for a little bit of a switchback, get a better drive. Oh, BWT Porsche, that was ahead of us, spun out. Again, anything can happen. So now we're back up into top 5. Happy with that. I noticed he goes a little wide again here. Remember that thing that I said that I was noting from the first few laps? So is he going to go wide into this right-hander up here? This kind of second kind of hairpin. Is he going to run wide again like he did before? Going to brake. He covers it off this time. He got wise from the time we sent one up the inside there. I think that was like lap 2 or 3. So he was wise to us there. Still, this is last lap. We're going to go for it. We're going to see if there's any move here. I'm also a little annoyed at the move he pulled into turn number 1. So at this stage, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for a move. But I'm thinking right now, as we're coming up towards the bus stop, I'm not going to go for the move before the bus stop. I'm catching him. He's weaving around, trying to break that toe, but I'm catching him. And right now, I'm not going to go for the move into the bus stop. He keeps it tight. I back out of it early. He has a compromised line. I'm going to try get a good line out here. Slight understeer. Power it down as early as I can. We're pretty close. We're going to have slipstream. In hindsight, I wish I wasn't this close. I'm going to have slipstream, but I'm going to be pulling out really early before the finish line. The car behind me is now in my mirrors. I'm watching him. I know I have the car on my left done. I have that pass done. Watch the car in the rear. We're coming up to the finish line. Can I maintain it? Can I maintain it? Across the line. It looks like I did. It looks like I did. It looks like I got that 4th position. But we'll check the results and see, do I keep that 4th position? Because that was tight. So join me for the results and we'll see where we finished. So the results, it ends up being a 5th position. I'll take top 5, but it's a bitter pill to swallow, losing out in 4th place by 1/1000th of a second. Oh, that's annoying. But we'll move on. We're going to race a few different cars coming up in the next couple of videos. Maybe we'll dip into the Porsche again in the future, but we're going to try concentrate on the Ferrari series for a while as I've been neglecting that. If you enjoyed this video, guys, I enjoyed racing it. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment, and if you want to see more content, subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video.